The fall semester is already underway at the University of Miami in Florida. Students there were given the option to attend classes in person or online. Anyone wishing to return to campus had to test negative for COVID-19. The university serves approximately 17,000 students. Julio Frenk has been president of the University of Miami since 2015. He also served as Mexico's health secretary from 2000 to 2006. He joins us live now via Skype. Mr. Frenk, thank you so much for being with us. So I understand that the University of Miami is reopening now with about 20% in-person classes, 33% virtual, and the rest are hybrid. How did you come up with that particular formula in terms of minimizing risks to students?
Yes, we've gone through an incredibly meticulous process of planning, and we decided to stay away from that false idea that either you open completely and then that's a huge risk, or you close completely and that's zero risk. There's actually risk involved also in not opening. So we decided for this model where we first gave the choice to students, about 25% chose to be fully remote for the entire semester. A variety of reasons. Some of those are students with underlying medical conditions who shouldn't come to campus, and we told them so. And others just, they didn't feel safe. The 3/4 that decided to come are divided, and most of them have a hybrid format in which part of their classes are in person, part of them are followed online, and they are joined simultaneously with those that are fully remote. So it is a hybrid model. It requires some technology, but it's working so far very well.
You talked about the risks of not opening, and I'm curious, if students choose the online version model, what sort of impact do you think that has on the overall quality of their education? Do you think it's the same?
We think the instructional piece of a fully remote option is it's equivalent. Now, the campus experience is more than that. Especially if you're a residential student, you live there. You are engaged in a community. You're part of that. So instruction is a big part of education. It's a necessary part of education, but not everything in education. So the piece that you don't have is that that element of the residential experience. Now, if you choose to, like 3/4 of our students chose to come to campus, we've been very clear that this semester, and we hope it's only this semester, you will have to sacrifice a lot of the ways we associate that social interaction with campus life. You're going to have to wear a face cover all the time, indoors or outdoors. You're going to have to refrain from having more than 10 people together, and everyone needs to have face coverings and keep social distance. There's a number of restrictions, and we asked our students to affirm that they are willing to comply with that. And we also have mobilized what we call positive peer pressure. We devised a very innovative system of what we call public health ambassadors, 75 students who are there to make sure that their own classmates are safe and don't engage in risky behavior.
Okay, but I just want to touch on what you said just a second ago about the differences in terms of the experience of virtual learning versus in-person learning. You talked about the fact that if you opt for virtual learning, you're missing out on that sort of residential experience, which brings me to my next question, which is, for parents who have paid for in-person learning, for those parents and those families who are not getting that, should they at least be given a partial refund? I mean, obviously, this is a debate that is happening nationwide across the country with a lot of colleges. What are your thoughts on that?
Oh, we absolutely do not. We waive all the charges that are associated with being on campus, all the room and board. If you were planning to come on one of our residential units or subscribe to one of our meal plans, some of the fees for the health system, the wellness center, a number of additional charges that go that are inherent to the residential experience, those are not charged. The instructional piece is it's roughly equivalent.
But beyond that, though, I mean, beyond just sort of like, okay, obviously you're not going to be charged for room and board because, of course, that would be hugely unfair. But beyond that, though, should there be even more of a discount for people who are opting for virtual learning or who have to have virtual learning?
We feel that the fully remote option, the instructional piece of education, is equivalent, so much so that many of the students that are on campus are in that hybrid model, and they follow that. And we give, we've invested very major resources to have a pretty high quality virtual experience, both whether you are on campus in the hybrid model or whether you're fully remote at your house. So those are roughly equivalent. It's the other elements that marks the difference, and that's what most of the students actually want to have, and are willing to take the risk of coming on campus and have committed themselves to behaving in a very specific way, understanding that social experience is going to be highly constrained this semester as well.
Well, it's not easy decisions that are being made, and certainly there are challenges for a lot of colleges across the country, not just the University of Miami. All right, Dr. Julio Frenk,
yes.
we have to leave it there. Thank you so much. We'll have